Welcome to another edition of the Sundown series, where today we will be talking about Hays, Kansas. Hays is a city in the county seat of Ellis County, Kansas, United States. The largest city in northwestern Kansas. It is the economic and cultural center of the region. As of the 2010 census, the city population was 20,510. Finally, a town in this state that is above 1,000. It is also a college town home to Fort Hays State University. Prior to American settlement of the area, the site of Hays was located near where the territories of the Arapaho, Kiowa, and Pawnee met. Claimed first by France as part of Louisiana and later acquired by the United States with the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. It lay within the area organized by the U.S. as Kansas Territory in 1854. Kansas became a state in 1861, and the state government delineated the surrounding area as Ellis County in 1867. In 1865, the U.S. Army established Fort Fletcher southeast of present-day Hays to protect stagecoaches traveling the Smoky Hill Trail. A year later, the Army renamed the post Fort Hays in honor of the late General Alexander Hays. In late 1866, anticipating the construction of the Kansas Pacific Railway as far west as Fort Hays, a party from St. Louis, Missouri, led by William Webb, selected 3 sections of land for colonization near the fort. In 1867, to better serve the railroad, the Army relocated Fort Hays 15 miles northwest to a site near where the railroad was to cross Big Creek, a tributary of the Smoky Hill River. Seeing a business opportunity, Buffalo Bill Cody and railroad contractor William Rose founded the settlement of Rome near the fort's new location. Within a month, the population of Rome grew to over 2,000. Webb, meanwhile, established the Big Creek Land Company and then surveyed and platted a town site which he named Hays City after the fort, roughly 1 mile east of Rome. The railroad reached Hays City soon thereafter and constructed a depot there. The railroad's arrival, combined with a cholera epidemic that hit Rome in the late summer of 1867, drove Rome businesses and residents to relocate to Hays City. Within a year, Rome was completely abandoned. As the western terminus of the railway, Hays City grew rapidly, serving as the supply point for territories to the west and southwest. As a frontier town, Hays City experienced the kind of violence that gave rise to the myth of the American Old West. Several notable figures of the Old West lived in Hays City of this era, including George Armstrong Custer, his wife Elizabeth Bacon Custer, Calamity Jane, Buffalo Bill Cody, and Wild Bill Hickok, who served a brief term as sheriff in 1869. 30 homicides occurred between 1867 and 1873, including a deadly saloon shootout involving Fort Hays soldiers. This literally just is reading like one of those old Western movies that our parents used to watch back in the day. A cemetery north of town became known as Boot Hill by 1885. It held the bodies of some 79 outlaws. In 1869, the murder of Union Pacific watchman James Hays led to the lynching of 3 African-American soldiers. This incident caused a feud between soldiers and civilians, giving Hays a reputation as a sundown town. African-Americans living in nearby Nicodemus were not welcome after dark. No signs formally establishing this policy were posted, but the town's reputation for racial discrimination persisted well into the 1930s. So that's crazy. They were established as a sundown town, but they didn't have any signs establishing themselves as a sundown town. So it was almost like enter at your own risk, or you had to know not to go over there after a certain time. And they said well into the 1930s is when they established that it was no longer a sundown town. That's crazy. Hays City became the county seat of Ellis County in 1870, and the town became more civilized. Rougher elements of the populace had begun to leave in the late 1860s, many following the Kansas Pacific Railroad construction west of Sheridan or moving south to Dodge City. Volga Germans started settling in Ellis County in 1876, finding its land suitable for their lifestyle and the types of crops they had grown in Russia. They brought with them turkey red wheat, a type of winter wheat whose cultivation contributed to the agricultural transformation of the region. Bukovina Germans began settling in the area in 1886. These groups had a significant impact on the local way of life, establishing Hays as a regional center of ethnic German culture. Hays City was incorporated in 1885 and in 1895 it was renamed simply as Hayes. I'm just scrolling through. I'm just kind of skimming through that last little part and get into the demographics. Their population right now actually has increased since 2010. You know, in 2010 it said there was 20,510. Well, now as of 2019, their population is 20,744. Which, when you think about it, makes sense because they said this is one of their more well-developed cities or towns in the entire state. They said the racial makeup of the city is 92.8% Caucasian, 1.1% African American, 0.3% American Indian, 1.8% Asian, 2.1% from other races, and 1.8% from 2 or more races. Hispanic and Latinos of any race were 4.7% of the population. And out of all the towns that I've read so far for the state of Kansas, that one has the lowest percentage of white people. Interesting, because they said they have 92%. Every other place had like well over 95 or higher. But it makes sense since this is a very, very large town. And probably it sounds like it's their epicenter, to be quite honest. You can even look at this image, even though you can tell it's a rural town, it looks well more developed than the other towns in Kansas that I've covered so far. But that's going to conclude this edition of the Sundown series. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you would like to get notifications for every time I upload a new video, make sure you text the number that is pinned down in the comments below, and I'll talk to you in the next one.